Hi guys, I'm working on annual 2019 Taroscopes. They're actually lots of fun. They give you lots of insight about every single segment of your life, and it's kind of like divided by quarters. It's divided by section of your life, and it's going to be a really interesting guide. It was really well received last year, so now this is your time to get them one sign for 1995 or all signs. So you can check your ascendant, you can check your moon sign, you can check your friends, you know, somebody that you're like having an eye on, for $39.95. It is a really good time to order right now, because the moment when I deliver the first one, the price is going up to $29.95 and to $39.95. So yeah, I invite you to order. Like, the link is down in the description. You can see it, you can go right there, and this is like really good time to take advantage of. So for those of you who are steady subscribers, please, you know, do that. It's great for you, it's great for me to support my channel. And those of you who are here the first time, you can actually check my timelines, and you can see I released them somewhere late in July, so you can see how they look like. Okay guys, so let's start with the reading. Hello Libra, and welcome to your next 30-day forecast. Best to say it, because even if you're looking this in March, this is the place where you need to be in order to hear these messages. So general reading, guys, just a little disclaimer, not for faint-hearted. My channel is healing channel, so I tell you good and bad. Good because it's a great thing to know that you're heading towards something. Bad, hey, don't jump in that hole. So Libra, what I'm doing this time around and from now on, I'll be actually putting things in order of kind of like how many people click on this like button, comments, subscription, etc, etc. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, right? You see this button over here, click on the bell, and you're invited for my lives on Saturdays. And this is another thing to kind of like really have this energy. So of course, if you want me for private reading, you know where to find me at cattarot.ca. So meditation, I did get stop word for you, and it's kind of like really weird. In the morning, as I looked at it, you know, when I wake up, I have astigmatism, and it kind of like clears away. During the day, I kind of like almost like seen this like T as a big A, and this two kind of like got interlaced, so ASAP. I saw it as ASAP. So I'm going to take both of them because they're like really speaking to me. Stop ASAP. We will see what is this all about. So this is, as I said, for the next 30 days. Let's see some messages before. Ooh, that was just for Capricorn as well. I love this. Your psychic powers are being enhanced. Use this gift wisely. Okay, well, let's put all of this together, because just because the card is out, it doesn't mean that this is basically, look at how much sunshine you're getting. It's just like blasting in my face. It's just amazing. Oh, Libra, maybe you need to stop the rain. Oh my gosh, you're getting friendliness. This is the beautiful soulmate card coming through. Libra, messages for my Librans for the next 30 days. Oh my gosh, what are the chances? Love and desert. Good card though. And romance angels. Romance angels. What do we have here for Librans? This one wanted to come out. Jesus Christ, this is like sugary overload. You know, you're the last sign I'm reading, and it literally delivered everything really good here for you. I just, you know, I'm going to find myself a Libra, and this time around, because it's really kind of like lovely reading. This is going to be absolutely great, guys. So psychic is talking about kind of like really opening yourself up to different influences. This does mean you will go to cattarot.ca and order your reading. You know what is really good? My 15-minute readings for checking people out. It's less costly than spending 3 months of your time, or even a month, going out with someone who just like turns out to be with someone. you know, people these days, you don't really know if you can even trust anybody who is saying anything, right? So you will also be surrounded with and being really intrigued about occult. You'll be very intrigued about pyramids and different things in your life. You're going to spend lots of time on YouTube. So your air sign, this is my ascendant, this is like really, really important for me. So I'm so looking forward for something like this coming in my life. This is like warm blanket, guys. It's a warm blanket that is saying hello, you're at home. That's going to be happening, and you will know. There'll be kind of like really things that you will understand even before they happen. So trust those instincts that are happening over here. So it is a really, really wonderful road ahead for you. So where do I go next? Well, let's go to this desert, because I think you're scratching your head over there and saying, oh, how's this? What's this? Okay, so what is desert all about? You know, this climate is not really something I really want to be in. We don't have this in Canada. We didn't have that in Croatia. If you're an American, or I think Australians have that as well, like you have that, right? And it's kind of like this dry, basically, climate zone. And what basically happens that with that enormous sand, that images really shift and change throughout the day, but they also kind of like keep this kind of really sharp presence, right? And everything that really survives there is like kind of like very hardy, right? And it's really adapted to kind of like that lands. Like we have cacti, keeping the water in there, having a spike saying stay away, you know, from it, protectiveness, right? But still, having said that, whether you look in the Bible or any other holy book, people did have deserts as one of those clarity moments when things really, really happened, right? About these people wandering the desert and religious figures, ascended masters, right? Those remarkable visions and solutions came to them over there. So this is ideal kind of a thing. So what is a vision quest? For those of you who are not familiar with the term, this really describes like when usually people kind of go a few days in the wilderness alone, and it could be a desert, it could be just simply kind of like a forest, and they just kind of like carry only water and maybe a few really, really items that are really important to you. And you know, you're just like simply spending time praying and meditating and being really in touch with nature. Imagine that challenge, not having the internet. It is awful. To me, it's punishment, but it's at the same time so energizing. Days all of a sudden become full and light. I mean, this doesn't talk about starving. You can bring your sandwiches with you, but things that will happen. Many who completed a vision quest assert it's kind of like a very powerful and even life-changing experience, and they report they had profound revelations. So you know, there's that saying, the desert doesn't lie. So this is kind of like about discovering the truth about your purpose. The purpose is really, really needed, and you being a Libra, so this is that stop. This is like that ASAP. You kind of like need to give yourself some space. You guys are always balancing your scales. There is always this thing, you know, I do too. Oh no, it's never good enough. You always kind of like, oh, I have to put a little bit more and a little bit more here. Did you ever try, like me, to decorate the place and then fussing around about which pillow goes where forever? Libra, yeah, I'm so 100% Libra over there. This is one of the more powerful cards in this deck, right? Everything that it is on the table, that's what I told you. I knew that you're going to wonder what the hell is this all about, but everything that is on the table is right now threefold, fivefold more magnified because of this. Now, what is left? Friendliness, soulmate, love, compassion, and calling in your soulmate. 3 in 1, right? And here we have like these two hands reaching each other, right? Beautiful, 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 because they're offering each other. Oh my gosh, look at this rays of thing, and I just lifted it and the ray went right through it. So stars are lining up, guys. This green field is basically the color of the fourth or heart chakra, right? It is like when we really love, that in our heart center we naturally emit that healing energy and compassion. So I think this is like really starting with having compassion for yourself and everything that you have been through in your life, and kind of like everything that was hard. And I say to yourself, okay, well, let me laugh at it right now, because I'm just taking myself too seriously. And all of a sudden, like the sunshine that we are feeling, look at that glare. It's just like going to be lift off kind of a thing, right? Because life is very cyclical, right? And all wounds stem from the illusion of separation, right? That we are not getting what we should be getting. And the problem is, like, when we are in a regular life with regular television, internet, YouTube, name it, newspapers, we are bombarded with messages, and almost like a sheep, we are kind of like being pegged at how we need to go. And even if we go like this, we are still kind of like going in a direction where we are being pushed. This is making you think about what you really need to be, who you really not need to be, right? And these illusions are kind of like lifting, right? So the route for you to healing, whatever it was, this kind of like weird path that you were following, is jumping out of it. And it's a compassion for yourself and also for every other living being on this planet. And that includes plants. That includes, yeah, being the crazy lady or crazy guy talking to the plants and animals and hugging strangers. Well, don't overdo it. Okay, we after all air signs, right? Like, come on, like, I can hug you but go away now, okay, right? So it's that joke that I put on Facebook. You see the kitty like gazing through the window and say, oh, I'm so lonely. Oh my gosh, when will this loneliness stop? I'm trapped over here. Oh my god. And then you see a human coming and trying to pet a cat, and the cat turns around, don't you touch me. Right? That's the kind of a thing that we air signs are. Like, we do have our tangents where we go on. So there is like really something else that is coming through it, because this love energy is very much electrical energy, right? So it is like electrical energy that is kind of like generated by the receiver receiving magnetic energy. So you're drawing that in. You are a magnet, right? So what kind of magnet do you want to be? Do you want to still continue with that anger and righteousness and fear, judgment, and kind of like blocking this, or just simply going to forgive and kind of like let these things be and let these things go in a kind of like different direction? Because this is clearly telling you that you guys are made, literally this month, you're made out of love. You're made to help other people. Maybe your compassion is going to have healing energy that is going to be helping other people within their healing processes. But you guys are simply, if you are looking for somebody, even if you're not looking, it's going to be plenty of opportunity. It's just kind of like, look at it, your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. There is like this really good energy. And look at this, 2 trees. So they're like intertangling. So is this tree saying you're overpowering me, or is this tree saying this? Yep. They stand individually, each is kind of like rooted in the soil, and they have their own connection, their own people, right? So this to me is the essence of the true. In the other decks, this card is called Soulmate. In this deck is called Friendliness. And this is kind of like indicating a readiness to enter this quality. So this is going to be something that is going to be on earth element kind of like terms. It's going to be, look, I'm going to give this, but I need to take this, and we can do so much more together. Because look at this bounty of this enormous kind of like spectrum that can be created, right? So I really don't think that do think that you are no longer interested in any dramas, and you know, especially about romances or what other people are getting themselves engaged and the stories they're telling them and little violins. So it is kind of like a birth of a higher, more loving quality that is kind of like born out of your experience, like out of some kind of like fullness. So I think it is the birth of a love that is truly unconditional and without demands. This is like something really, really good. So stop anything ASAP. Stop ASAP anything that has been preventing you to get there. Just kind of like give yourself a chance to kind of like be and start fresh. You might have to spend some time meditating and kind of like exploring these directions, but definitely rewards are going to beyond anything beyond like all decks are lining up. What are the chances? Okay, so let's check what basically else do we have in the rest of the message. Oh my gosh, I'm going to sneeze. So you guys have on the bottom of the deck, interestingly enough, well, I'm looking up to the first majors. You have two. Reverse, you have the hanged cat or hanged floating cat and the Empress. I really think this is really talking to me about the sacrifices, right? But look at this card. The sea cat is amazed by the visions, and if I sneeze, I'm so sorry in advance. I'm feeling it coming, but it's still not there. So look, there are like so many different worlds. We see kind of like this water everywhere here, but which one is illusion? Does this really exist? Which one is reality, right? This kind of like confusion card, and it is reversed. So there is like no confusion anymore. You are seeing things as they really, really, truly are. You making decisions will be so much easier right now, and you can actually trust the information that you will so receive. So follow through with action, and your dreams are going to be really, really in your reach. So you have good kitty over here, and I just like finished reading, and they Capricorns had it in their environment. So this is a karma card. This is really talking about understanding where you're positioned, right? We, you know, sometimes make great choices, but sometimes we misbehave or make unfortunate choices, right? But this is really talking about that you have come to the place when it reverses. You have come to this place of self-acceptance and clarity, right? There is like need to kind of like see this like bigger picture, to see how you fit within your family, within where you work, your clan, your family, right? Wherever you wish. And what is like your sphere of influence, right? You kind of need to expand the blessings of compassion to benefit everyone, and kind of like there is like this need to forgive. So what do you need to do? Because look at this again, I'm seeing this compassion, again I'm seeing this friendliness. It's almost like a center figure over here. It's kind of like really lovely, because that cup where it was like hard to deal with, which was like so full, it had to be emptied, had to kind of like be cleared. The fresh things had to be put there, and when this is clean, everything good can actually come in. Oh, demon cat. It's going to be really sexy times, guys. I have to tell you, I do see a lots of parallels between you and Capricorns. I have to tell you this. So I don't know who here is sending me that Capricorn energy. Please speak up. I need to know. If nothing else, this is really, really really kind of like a card is going to take in, again, talking about demons, talking about like that you feel that certain things are really going in the wrong direction, and this kind of like talks about that you need to kind of like put things on in the light. You need to kind of like that self-acceptance that I was talking about. Feel it. That's, you know, these two are this psychic energy that is really, really coming through. You're seeing this clarity, but like when you get this gift, then you also know that you really have to be honest. I don't sugarcoat my readings because I would lose that ability. And B, you know, truthful. And C, be willing to help, right? And then, you know, you're on the proper path. This kind of like worries me a little bit that some of you might fall back in the old patterns, the very patterns you're trying to release. So be careful about that. We are going to clarify that. I'm clarifying this with Gypsy cards later. So 8 of Earth. 8 of Earth is reversed. So what do we see? We see Mommy Kitty taking her litter of spring and saying, it's time. You get to learn how to hunt yourself, right? So this is reversed. So this is still telling me that there is like still the situation that you're finding yourself where maybe there was like a little bit of perfectionist, I would say, involved over here, and you're actually realizing right now that you know, maybe it was just too much. Maybe right now you have to kind of like loosen up a little bit and relax. It's also kind of like talking about all work and no play. Did you find yourself in that situation that your life became a little bit dull, right? And that you were focusing, improving your skills and your position. So hello, you need some fun, you need some time, and guess what's going to happen? It's going to be that the sun is going to shine again. Do not, this is telling you clearly, do not go toward this darkness. You need to kind of like go up. So you're really breaking some patterns over here. And being an air sign, like I'm in air signs, water signs are usually the highest psychic energies, right? Because we don't take anything for granted. And I used to have this opinion that Aquarians can be the harshest of the air signs, but I'm changing this opinion. I'm seeing Libra as really demanding something, especially when something is out of balance. Demanding this balance is great, right? And frankly, even though this is not your card, I can see this balance over here, and it's coming naturally. It's not being forced. And this is the path, the sun. So you're already on your path. You have been already doing some homework. You have been already dealing with things. Look at this, like you're having 3 major arcanas. This is really, really important period. This talks about, again, we were talking about this self-acceptance, which I told you it's going to be a theme. And it's going to be even people who they really, really rub you the wrong way, right? We are signs. We kind of like get into that, and it's really, really hard for us to kind of like be dissuaded and just stop it. But something irritates me, you know, I can be very, very rude. I did gain some weight, so that's why I'm not showing up. I'm hoping that by February, March, you're going to be able to see me. Fingers crossed. We'll see how I do about that. But, you know, neighbor remind me, oh, you need to lose weight, you need to do that. Who asked you, dude, right? Scorpio. So, and I said to him, please, like my diet and what I put in my mouth, it's really not your concern, Mr. Chubby, because he's chubby too. So it's just amusing how, you know, people allow themselves to go into something personal like that. But, you know, not everybody has class. So next time he did that, it was on the phone. I just hung up on him. And guess what? It never happened again. So yeah, was it rude? Yeah, but it was effective. There's time. Sorry about it. So the sun means you have already realized very similar thing. Who is in your circle? Who is that you're going to let in your circle and fully relax, show the belly, and bask the sun? You kind of like have lots of common interests and goals, but you also have other people who are still present in your life. Some of them are maybe a little bit on the arm's length. They're like opening themselves up to you, but the others, you are really, really cautious. And I really think that you have been doing that work because this is really telling me that they might still, you might actually have people who are dragging you down. And the psychic intuition really, let me just put this as well here. It's really important, because if you feel that something is wrong, and we are signs, we can talk ourselves out of anything and into anything, right? So no, this time antennas are up. Something is wrong. You know, sometimes you see people and they talk, and I mean, I have like really friendly appearance, and I can totally see how the red light is flashing over their heads. Liar, 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 liar. I totally get it. When I do the readings, I see sometimes, initially started with me seeing words flashing. Now those words I write down, but I also see the whole scenarios flashing. So something like that, just trust yourself. That's really important tool to have. Just because we develop language doesn't mean that the rest of the communication is not there. You know what they say, language only accounts to what? 20% of communication. Everything else is like body language and all the other stuff that we do. So what is above you? You have 10 of Earth. So you might be having issues with family. Well, this is extremely complex card. This really pretty much covers everything from family to where we are heading, why we are heading. Look at this. Everybody's kind of like finding some kind of like comfort in the situation. It did come reversed, and this is like something that is like about there, you know. So it is okay that you have your special places, your special spots, that you know want things a certain way, but refusing to ever try something different is like something else. Hello, you're not a stubborn sign, right? Even though I think you had the Empress over here and floating cat, both of them are having this energy of 3, woo, and you have the Death. And look at here, you have the Tree over here. And then of course the next one will be again your Soulmate card. Very interesting though. So wow, incredibly strong. 1 2 3 4 5 6 majors. So guys, this is not going to be optional month. Mark my words, this month changes everything. But this here, you know, means that sometimes we stick around an environment that is very safe, right? Which you are doing this, who is safe with me or not. But you are air sign. You are forgetting that this is not why you are here. You're not here to play it safe. Why do you think air has the fastest energy? Why is the air is the highest of all the elements? Because you're supposed to move things and shake things up, right? So there is like nothing to fear. Your support system is really strong. You're going to find way to home again, and you're like almost like craving this love. It's these energies, right, of that creativity. Like you maybe feel a little bit stifled in the process. There was like definitely some kind of like suffering in the past. Some of you felt that you were left no option, and you got stubborn and you got bankered up, you know, on just doing this my way. No, this is the old way, guys. This is not who you are, right? Just like think back when you were a teenager. How did you feel? It was a much later feeling, which was like really all-encompassing. You need to go through that quiet time. Maybe you will have demands from the others, like leaning really heavily on you. You need to put yourself and your needs in this period, because you guys have amazing landscape of what's going to happen. Immediate future, sky home. Well, this is the air energy over here that we are talking about. And look at the kitty, kind of like jumping toward this like birdie. And this is pretty much the exercise I do with Safi every morning and every night. There is like the bird that she just like loves her toy. And you know, what is the toy that you like? What is the situation where you feel at home? Do you feel like where, you know, you can kind of like jump in and achieve, and you know, there's like being this, like, I mean, almost like this kitty. As you can see, there is like no land, it's all clouds. So it's almost like being more at home in the air than on the ground, right? So I really think that you guys have gentle nature most of the time, right? But right now it's maybe time to be a little bit more aggressive, but even that could be at the expense of others. So you maybe need to hang up on someone, right? Because that someone might be kind of like somebody who is right now not on the list, not on the list with the stars in your phone of the closest people. Because this is really talking about that, yes, even though you might say something, but the kindness and consideration is really, really important. So you also have to put all these filters on, right? Well, you know what, I mean, there's like something that is needed to do. I can give you kindness, but you have to give me kindness back. It is kind of like repositioning, and you're going to be engaging. I think the only kind of like caveat I would say, don't just do it solely on basically intellectual level. We know our air signs, right? We kind of like are guilty of that. That's why people always kind of like tell us, oh, you guys are aloof and this and this. I'm aloof for a long time, but when I let people in, they can hurt me deeply, right? So it's like air being trapped in the cave, right? It's still there, it's still giving life, but it's not really where it's supposed to be. So let's see your feelings. Whoa, you're getting 3 of C. That's that friendly card. This is the card, again, as I said, not same old, same old. You got stuck in the circumstance. You need to expand. New friends, new things, going out. Yes, it's going to be a time when you just need to be on your own. But maybe this is like before everything else happens, because this is a lovely card. Look at this. You know, they're like strangers who are very, very different. They might not like different things, but they can still kind of like get together. This is like, and then you had this like friendliness card over here, right? As well. It's kind of like the integration, what I bring on the table, what others bring on the table. Spend time around your friends. This is going to be very, very beneficial. Find these people who are very nourishing toward you, and also be the same. It's simply going to start pulsating that, as I told you, electrical energy that kind of attracts this magnetic energy. And just like that happiness, and people see people smiling, they just gravitate toward them. You need to bring yourself this kind of like sunny attitude, and this is kind of like really, really lovely. Oh, this is your card. It's another karma card, so 2 so far. It's called consequences. So it is environment, and I really think consequences are going to be the verdict you will render this month. It's kind of like who has been there for me, who hasn't been there for me, right? If you, and I have a feeling that your family is putting pressure on you with some demands that maybe you can't or you don't want to do, right? So you need to kind of like look also, and if people just like did it maybe temporarily, or it was like something that was going long term, right? And if people are really understanding, like, I mean, how they're affecting you with this, there is definitely some kind of like entanglements in situations. So I would really kind of like apply this maybe last attempt at this friendliness, at this compassion, and just like see what sticks. If people continue to be kind of like in a kind of like gloom and doom and bad things, right now you need to lift off. And when you're lifting off, having these stones attached to you at your legs are going to hold you down. Right now you cannot help them if they cannot and don't want to help themselves. You need to get it. This is your card, guys. This is Libra, and it's coming in your face, asking you to ask them to balance themselves. That's the only thing you need to do. You can be a friend, but not at a cost of them interrupting your balance. So let's see hopes and fears. Ace of Sky. It's reversed. Why? This card to me is always telling me the truth is not being told. This can talk about outward lies. It can talk about somebody just conveniently skipping important details, like they meet you, they woo you, they dine you, they love you, and then month down the road, they're like, there is a scarcity, there is like Houdini act. Well, maybe his wife returned to town, right? People forget to tell you the details that they know are not going to work for them. Keep that in mind. This is your worst fear. This is your fear. And be very careful about these enormous attractions, because they can lead to unhealthy things that will just drag you down, and you will continue going through the spin instead of like feeling love that you're like basically done. This is like a dark side of love. This is like that sensuality that kind of like goes out where there is like really dead end on that road. Man, hey, it's a precipice. Well, what the heck, I'm going to jump through it. I'm an air sign, I'll fly. Yeah, good luck with that. What if you don't see where you're flying? What if there is darkness, right? So you have to keep in mind about that. That's your biggest fear. But also your hope is that this time you're going to actually follow your instincts and your triggers, and it's kind of like going to be easier to deal with this, right? This again is air, so as air it is kind of like really really good, and it's important to kind of like go in this direction, because air is what kind of pushes things forward. This card also is a very, very fast card. It's probably one of the fastest in the deck, if not the fastest card, right? So it is kind of like important to understand that things can actually change so quickly for you, right? So maybe this simply also means, and giving this is right next to this fellow who is maybe really, really in the zone and forgetting there are other people around as well. So maybe there are too many ideas, maybe there will be too many options. Like you will have so much, and you will probably be afraid of making a wrong decision, and distractions will be there, right? So if you question yourself about what you should do about someone, if you have two people that you need to decide, I always go with what Johnny Depp said. He said, if you have to choose between the two people, choose the second one. Because if the first one was it, you would never actually even explore what is going on with the second one. So guys, let me see if I need to clarify. I definitely want to clarify these two things and see why is the demon cat there for my Libras. And we have journey. I think it was reversed. I guess it's a journey in a direction, something in the past. Do not allow past, and I can talk to you, your air sign. Do not allow past to affect your present and affect your future. So whenever you feel emotional, we are going through Mercury retrograde, we will all feel emotional. So yeah, change the channel. Go and find yourself something that you can laugh. Do not do trigger things that are going to create issues, right? Wife. Why is this here? You know, maybe there is a problem with the mate, especially if you're dealing with somebody who is either divorced or he's still having somebody pulling the strings, like a mother of his kids, or there's like still a woman or man in their life. It could be with children, it could be just like somebody who is like still very influential, and it's going to be messing you up because you will feel obstacles in your path, and or you need to clear something from the past that have been generating these kind of like things. And that's kind of like that reckoning, looking in the mirror and saying, you know, I cannot do that. I would love that this works out with you, but I really cannot do that. And it's like that silent power and compassion for yourself that allows you to do that. Most people play this poker with sweaty palms, and they just like, they don't want to lose their mate, and they would always kind of like try to, you know, wrap themselves around them, and that's exactly how they lose. Your air sign, you actually are going somewhere. So let me just see this Ace of Sky, and that's also that Ace up here, so it's kind of like a very important. So now the stop is getting really, really clear to what this really means. Look at this. Study people, give them rope to hang themselves. That's what this really tells me, right? So there's like not much effort from you needed, right? You're waiting for the right one. But this card in the original Vera Sibilla deck has sort of like a mini telescope, what do you call it, monocular. It's actually reversed, so it is kind of like the distant part looking back at a person. So you have to see if somebody is really pushing the buttons or trying to push you back to where you are. And it's really, really important for you. If you feel that something is wrong, address it. If you're not getting the answer that is comfortable, you need to kind of like just let go of that. It's going to be very, very important. Did I not draw the very last card? Oh, I guess I didn't. We have the Strength reversed. So you're not going to be in a situation where you really want to commit. Strength reverse still means that this is like something new and gentle and a newfound kind of a thing, right? Because it's not fully in force, right? This kind of like could be sometimes making excuses, right, Libra? And you need to realize that sometimes things are just beyond your control. You don't need to make excuses. Crap happens, right? So, but at the same time, given that we have this combination, you need to take responsibility for your decisions and for your actions, and you need to kind of like you need to make executive decision, and at the same time being loving and compassionate. You're going to see the strength emerging, right? You guys are really, really strong in this period to overcome any obstacle, including those that are inside of yourself. Everything is pointing out. You really need to kind of look in yourself. You did turn a new leaf. You are going in a new direction, right? These threes are reversed because you're still not ready to pounce before you kind of like reach this. This is what it is. Self-acceptance. Draw upon your own inner reserves about, you know, loving and ability. And just for God's sake, stop doing things that are just harmful to you, that are counterproductive. The people who you hope for the best, but it always turns out the worst. So what's going to happen if you miss this person? It's going to happen that the next one or the next one or the next one will be the right one. So but these ones will just like slide by if you go in this direction. So allow yourself for the right person to come in, because he or she will. Guys, one more card to seal the reading. Do not forget to subscribe and like and share. I really want to see some activity, guys. If you want your reading before, you need to kind of like do some effort, right? Because I'm doing this effort. This is my free time. So let's see. Libra, something is jumping. Dragon's Lair. It's 19 like this one. It's interesting actually, meaning, but I'm going to read this for you. So this is what it means. You're always protected and divinely directed. You have a remarkable internal warning system, right? That lets you know when things are out of alignment. You're about to enter dangerous territory. So tread carefully and be aware of your surroundings. The path that you're on now is one that will challenge you to the core. That said, peril is also exciting and exhilarating, like the danger you feel before you enter a new relationship, knowing that you'll be changed forever. A life lived fully isn't lived only in safety. A new experience is calling to you, one that will test your courage. The choice is yours. But there is a greater value in risk taking than remaining unchallenged. New territories are waiting to be discovered. Absolutely, guys. You are working on so many levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 major guidance. Sorry to say, you don't really have a choice. You get to be there this month. Literally, there is like a turnaround month where things will change dramatically. You might not even recognize yourself in a month from now. Everything that was oppressing you is just going to look like the distant history. So my dear Libras, I would love to see some comments. I would like to see some love. And until the next time, you can check my dailies on Instagram and on Facebook. And of course, for your private reading, cattarot.ca. Let's check this fellow or lady out and see what they can bring into your life. All the best.